Okay, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. This is Jeffrey Daniel coming to you on October 23rd, 2021, according to that Gregorian calendar, okay? So, you know I'm a bang on that Gregorian calendar. You guys know that, right? Okay, so check this out, you guys. I'm here in Abuja, Nigeria, and wow, as I told you all before, I am not a newscaster, so I'm not here to just give you the latest news. But I'm here to help us get a fresh and a more, I guess, comprehensive perspective on what's going on, to help us all get through this thing called life and all the things that life is throwing at us, that this world is throwing at us, all the things that we're all dealing with because we're all in this together. We've got a global economy. The world has turned into like a big global village, whether they like it or not, admit it or not, or look at it that way or not. But we're all interconnected in some way. So if something happens somewhere, it affects another place somewhere else, inadvertently or directly. So, you know, this is where we're at, you guys. So I like to give you guys topics and things that help provoke your, how can I say, your higher cognitive facilities of thinking, comprehending things, and just, you know, helping us deal with what's going on. So I got a very, very, very juicy topic for you guys today. So if you guys want to get that snack, if you guys want to relax, I would encourage you all to grab a pen and pencil or something, or get your mobile device. You want to jot down names and dates and stuff so you can follow up what I'm saying and do your own research, you guys. Fact check me, okay? Go ahead and fact check me, okay? I hope you all are doing fine. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are keeping up with yourselves, keeping up with these vaccines, not getting the vaccines, the boosters that are coming out, the mixtures and the cocktails that they're putting together with the different vaccines, all these things that are going on, you guys. So, you know, we have to deal with it and try to get a handle on what's really going on and what's best for you. Please talk to your health professionals. See what's going on that's could be specific for your own condition, because I don't think there's just a blanket solution for everybody, because different people have different conditions, you know, so we have to deal with that, okay? All right, so here we go, you guys. Check this out. Today, I want to talk about history's greatest cover-up. History's greatest cover-up. I'm not talking about the pyramids. I'm not talking about finding Jesus. I'm not talking about all the obvious things. You guys know me. I like to be on the peripheral of matters, and I like to get a bird's eye view of things, and I like to think outside of the box. So I'm coming at you guys with something that I don't think most people have ever come up with, especially this topic, you guys. You can hold me to that, okay? All right? So for once, I am calling out all earthlings collectively. I'm talking about every resident of planet Earth. It doesn't matter what race you are, what nationality you claim, which faith you follow, if you're a Buddhist, Hebrew, Christian, Muslim, or atheist. Every living being has to adhere to this information. We are all being distracted from the real activity that is about to affect our very existence. We are also preoccupied with who's winning the World's Cup and NBA titles, tennis opens and NFL trophies, who's taking home the Grammy or the Oscars or the BET or Tony Awards. Or did you see the episode of Game of Thrones or Squid Game? All these things is just distraction, you guys. And they got us all like crabs in a pot of hot boiling water, climbing all over each other, trying to get out while pushing the rest of us down, worrying about which race thinks it's superior or which race is being regarded as inferior, and who's gay or transgender, or who's the newest billionaire on the Forbes list. These are all the things that our minds are so preoccupied with, you guys, that we don't have time to no longer think about what's really, really going on. I'm going to bring you guys to that, okay? All of these and many distractions are keeping our minds inundated with so much information that is not even valid to our continued existence or the existence of our home planet. And speaking of our home planet, those of you who've been following me, you've heard me mention this before on several occasions. Now they're trying to convince us that they'll be colonizing Mars in the near future. But I told you all in my previous past, only enough people to fill up a boardroom are making decisions that's controlling almost 8 billion people's lives. I'm telling you, if any intelligent life form were to ever visit Earth, they'll be like, okay, please run that by me one more time. You mean 8 billion people sat back and watched your home planet and wildlife being decimated just to appease a handful of Fortune 500 billionaires? If I was the aliens, I would abduct humans too and perform all kinds of sexual experiments on us, trying to figure out what made us so damn dumb and destructive. And this is where we're at. Speaking of Mars, you guys, now they have the United Emirates. Imagine that, the United Emirates and China racing against NASA for the red planet. I said it before and I'll say it again. If they haven't even done a dress rehearsal on the moon yet, which is the closest celestial body to Earth at just over 200,000 miles away, then how in the hell do they think they're just going to roll up on Mars, which is over 39 million miles away, and start terraforming a dead planet? But let's not get off the subject, you guys, okay? Let's not get off the main topic. The information I'm about to disseminate for you today is exposing the single most biggest cover-up mankind has had hidden from us. And I guarantee you guys, you're going to agree. Now, there is a reason for what they're calling global warming, but it's not all down to what they're claiming it is. Now, when I first heard a scientist say that human intervention wasn't enough to heat up the planet as much as we're experiencing, I just thought he was a global warmer denier. But I'm not trying to say that the amounts of pollution and toxins that we're releasing into our atmosphere isn't a contributing factor. We are contributing, no doubt. We are contributing, no doubt. But when you really look at how small an area us humans are actually occupying on the terrestrial environment, and that is the surface of the planet, and the vast amount of atmosphere that surrounds our planet, it becomes very evident that it's difficult for our activity alone to be warming up our planet so drastically. Statistics show that roughly 7.4 billion people are inhabiting the planet. Now, with all our hubris and destructive activities, humans only make up, get this, 0.01% of life on Earth. Let me run that by you again. Humans are only making up 0.01% of life on Earth. 75% of Earth is covered by water. 40% of terrestrial environment goes to agriculture. Only 29.2% is habitable. Only 29.2% is habitable without extraordinary means. We're talking about extraordinary means like living in the desert or high mountainous areas or underwater or something like that. Only 29.2% of the Earth's surface is habitable without extraordinary means, leaving only 3% of Earth's terrestrial environment covered by urban areas. That's only 3%, you guys, that is covered by urban areas. So the next time you hear these so-called socio-political analysis talking about pollution explosion and population control, go tell them to go and exterminate their own damn selves. If Bill Gates is so passionate about population control, why doesn't he start with his own family? Hey, it's not me wishing death on anyone. They are, okay? That's their agenda, okay? So I want you guys to pay close attention to what I'm about to break down for you right now. Here's where we go. We're going in now. So, what is it that they're not telling us? Global warming is primarily being caused by a natural galactic phenomenon. Just as we went into an ice age and came out of it, we are now entering an age where our solar system will heat up again. And why do I say again? You see, we live in a Milky Way galaxy, and our solar system resides near the outer perimeter of the galaxy. So if you can imagine a vinyl record or a CD disc spinning around, we are located closer to the edge of the disc, not towards the center of it. We're closer to the outer edge of the disk, okay? And as I explained in a previous video, that our Milky Way galaxy takes approximately 25,000 years to make one full revolution, even though it's moving at 130 miles per second. This galaxy is moving at 130 miles per second. Now, some estimate it at 25,800 Earth years for a full revolution, give or take. But at any rate, we are entering into a new position, the Age of Aquarius. Now, we are exiting the Age of Pisces, the fish. And how do we correlate being in that age? Well, religious allegories taught that Jesus saying, I will make you fisher of men if you follow me, fisher of men. One of the popular symbolisms of Christianity is the fish. And in Matthew 14, they got Jesus feeding a multitude of people with just a couple of loaves of bread, and 2 fish. You see, these allegories are pertaining to the age of Pisces, the fish. Now, as for clues to the age of Aquarius, the age that we're now moving into, it was written in Luke 22:10. Here's your guys' Bible. Jesus said, a man will meet you carrying an earthen pitcher of water. Follow him into the house he goes into. The earthen pitcher of water. Follow him into the house he goes into, the house of Aquarius. That's what the house is. Then Jesus had to meet John the Baptist in a river and be baptized in water, which also signified the coming of the age of Aquarius. You see, of course, these are all allegories, but they also serve as a message to those who are awakened to receive and understand the message. You see, some people take a lot of biblical and religious allegories as actual history and actual events, but some of them are just metaphors to just help you understand certain things. And that's what we're dealing with, you guys. We got to deal with it, okay? Now, do any of you remember this famous song from the musical Hair? Well, of course, a lot of you don't, because it was back in 1967. But those of us who are old enough, okay, it started off as a Broadway musical, then made into a movie, and it featured the hit song, The Age of Aquarius, later made famous by a recording by the Fifth Dimensions. Now, it was written by James Rodot and Jerome Ragni. They were trying to tell us something back then, but this was all coming out of the hippie era, and there were lots of esoteric sects and knowledge floating around back then. But us being so devoutly religious, we didn't consider their knowledge. So just listen to the lyrics, you guys. Some of you are going to remember these lyrics, and for those of you who don't know the lyrics, listen to it, and you can Google it and check it out yourself. Okay, listen to the lyrics. When the moon is in the 7th house and Jupiter aligns with Mars, then peace will guide the planets and love will steer the stars. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, the age of Aquarius. You guys know the song, right? Okay. Then it goes on to say, and here's the good part. Here's the part. Harmony and understanding, sympathy and trust abounding. No more falsehoods or derisions, golden living dreams of vision, mystic crystal revelations, and their mind's true liberation, Aquarius, Aquarius. Listen to what they're saying, you guys. Harmony and understanding, sympathy and trust abounding. No more falsehoods or derisions, golden living dreams of vision, mystic crystal revelations, and their mind's true liberation, Aquarius. Now, if that's not deep enough for you guys, hold on, and here's what hits home. Here's what hits home. Now, here's the part of the song that went over everybody's heads. The very end of the song, as they're vamping out, they all start singing, let the sun shine, let the sun shine in, the sun shine in, let the sun shine, let the sun shine in, the sun shine in. They're talking about we're going into the age of Aquarius, which is a new age that's going to be mystic crystal revelations, our mind's true liberations, and then let the sun shine. They're talking about the heat, you guys. They're talking about the sun is going to get hot. Was that prophetic or what? Come on now, family. Come on, you guys. It's right there in the lyrics. The age of Aquarius and the sun getting hotter. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to feel the sun like never before in our lifetimes. Already we're experiencing an annual concession of record-breaking heat waves around the globe. And how many times have we heard it's the hottest heat wave on record? See, now you're getting it. A year or so ago, the whole continent of Australia was on fire. We just saw Greece burning like never before. The whole west coast of the United States was on fire simultaneously. Brazil, and the list goes on and on and on. We're witnessing the heating up of Earth like never before seen in the past few millennia. But they're telling us it's all just down to from high CO2 emissions created by humans. It's reported that human sources of carbon dioxide emissions are much smaller than the natural atmospheric CTO emissions. Let me get that again, you guys. They're saying that human sources of carbon dioxide emissions are much smaller than the natural atmospheric CO2 emissions, which include outgassing from the oceans, decomposing vegetations, and other biomass. And you got venting volcanoes, naturally occurring wildfires, and when organisms respire or decompose. Also when carbonate rocks are weathered. So, then on top of that, we do help to exacerbate the natural balance that has existed millions of years before the influence of humans. Now, let me tell you all a little secret, okay? In order for our population alone to cause our entire planet's temperature to rise at such high levels is pretty much like dying from marijuana. For those of you who smoke, or even if you don't smoke, I think you guys have heard of that before. Let me tell you something, okay? You would have to smoke for a fatal dose of marijuana, an ingestion of 1,500 pounds of marijuana in 15 minutes. Let me say that again. You would have to take an ingestion of 1,500 pounds of marijuana in 15 minutes, which is a physical impossibility for any human to do. Even Snoop Dogg. I'm telling you guys, it's an impossibility. No one can smoke 1,500 pounds of marijuana in 15 minutes. I don't even think anybody can smoke a pound of marijuana in 15 minutes. I don't know. Snoop, what do you got to say about that, Snoop? No, I don't think it could be done. So in other words, for our CO2 emissions to rise to Earth's temperatures to the effect where we're starting to witness right now, we'd have to have explosions of CO2 emissions pumping out of factories located on every available piece of real estate on the planet, across every desert, up in every mountain, every valley, any open plain, and etc. That's why, hold on you guys, that's why the air eventually becomes clear after a falling rain, or strong wind blows it away. And the human-induced population pollution tends to hover over areas where it's being emitted from. You see what I mean? You don't see the air pollution over Los Angeles floating up to San Francisco, or the pollution over Mexico City, which is one of the most populated cities, floating over to Cuba. When Mexico City has pollution, it's just like hovering over that city. You guys see the pollution just hovering over Los Angeles or San Francisco or something like that. It stays pretty local. So it's not like the pollution is spreading all over the planet like when a volcano erupts or something like that, and it spreads everywhere. Our pollution stays pretty local, okay? So, yes, our man-made CO2 emissions do contribute. They do contribute. I'm not trying to deny that. So I don't want people coming about, you're just a denier, and we're this, and you need to listen to this, and you need to, you guys. And I noticed that every time I make some commentaries, people just take a soundbite or part of it that they want to hear, and they totally ignore what I'm actually saying, and they just lean on that one part, You guys have to listen to everything and put it together, okay? I am not denying that our contribution to global warming isn't a factor. But I'm just telling you, there's much more than what they're telling us, okay? Apart from the Earth's natural CO2 emissions that are going out that I just explained, you know. But there's much more than that, you guys. For the natural CO2 emissions from nature that far outweigh human interventions, along with us moving into a hotter position in the galaxy, is what is really going on. It was reported that 68 million tons of pollution were emitted into the atmosphere over the United States alone in the year 2020. So what happened to all of that deadly pollution if it didn't eventually dissipate? I'm not being cavalier about human contribution to the rising CO2 levels or higher temperatures, but the much more dangerous factor will be coming from our own dear sun. And they know this as well as I do. That's why they thought the Aztec and Mayan calendars were predicting the end of the world in 2012. You guys remember that? You all remember those scary rumors that was running around rampant back then, and people panicking, running around like lunatic cockroaches and stuff? It was referring to the end of an astrological era, not the end of the world. But you see, these people are so intellectually immature that they couldn't figure that out. So they were thinking that, oh, it's the end of the world. In the year 2020, the world's going to end. You guys remember that? People running around panicking, okay? So let me wet my whistle real quick. H2O, just water. Each constellation lasts about 2,150 years. And please keep in mind, family, that we are now trying to gauge these events by the Gregorian calendar. I did a post about that before, you guys, about the great manipulation of time, the Gregorian calendar, which doesn't correlate with the original calendar that was created according to the movement of the cosmos by the ancient Egyptians. You see, the Gregorian calendar is based on the reign of historical or religious figures, not the movement of the stars. So, are you all still with me? You guys with me now? I know it's getting hot in here, pun intended, but you don't have to take off all your clothes. The rabbit hole is about to get a lot deeper, so make sure you're taking notes so you can do some research on your own, you guys, okay? Now, have any of you heard of the Dogon, which they call tribe? I don't like to use that word tribe. Tribe is kind of condescending. We would like to say ethnic group or, whatever, nation. Excuse me, you guys. If you haven't heard of the Dogon, I want you guys to look this up. D-O-G-A-N, the Dogon, okay? All right. The Dogon ethnic group are in Mali. For those of you who haven't heard of them, they reportedly migrated out of Egypt due to all the foreign invasions, and they moved into West Africa, as a lot of other groups did. That's how groups spread across and down through Africa, coming out of the Nile Valley region. I don't want to say just Egypt, because it wasn't all just Egypt. It was all up and down the Nile Valley region, from what they're calling Upper Egypt and Cairo, all the way down to Khartoum, all the way down to Memphis and Thebes, all the way down to Nubia, Kush, which is Sudan, and down to Uganda, to Ethiopia, all the way down to Zimbabwe, all down the Nile. That whole up and down Nile Valley region was occupied by people. And because of all the concessions of invasions coming from the Persians, from the Romans, from the Greeks, from the so-and-so, people started moving away and carrying a lot of their knowledge and information with them, okay? So now they are located in central Mali on the plateau region, numbering between 400 to 800,000 in population. They are famous for having drawn the positions of the Sirius binary star system on rocks and on cave walls. But what makes this so astounding is that these people knew about this knowledge since 3200 BCE. But Western scientists only discovered Sirius B in 1862 after they created their telescopes. Are you guys hanging on to what I just said? These people in the Nile Valley region had this knowledge over 3,200 years ago, but the Western scientists just caught on to it in 1862. Now, the Sirius A is the brightest star in the night sky and has over 50 elliptical orbit around Sirius B. So you see the time involved in mapping out these movements. The Dogon already knew about the 50 orbital period between the two stars thousands of years before the Europeans even knew about Sirius B existing. 2027 will be the next celebration of Sirius B's rotation, which the Dogon believe is the coming of the new Earth. And this is what these people believe. There must be a reason why they're not teaching this knowledge in general curriculum in schools, you guys. They're holding back this stuff from us, you guys. They're holding back this knowledge. The Dogon, even up as close as the Aztecs and the Mayans, the ancient Nile Valley people, the Egyptians, whatever, they knew about these new ages that were rotating and coming around. They knew about it. They knew that our galaxy was spinning around, which goes to show you how old we really are, because nobody can tell you something that happened 25,000 years ago if people weren't around 25,000 years to hand down that knowledge. Think about it. Think about it. Nobody can tell you something that happened over 3,000 years ago unless people were here 3,000 years ago to hand down that knowledge. Now we got to get with this, you guys. We got to get with this. We're showing you guys how old we really are, all right? Now remember, now I want to talk about carbon and melanin. So why should any of this cosmological knowledge be of importance to you? Because it is you. It is you, okay? Remember, we're made of the same exact substance that every planet and solid celestial bodies are made of. So when our solar system goes through a cosmic transition, so do we. We are taught by intellectually immature scholars that there's an outer space. Now, I'm not trying to, be offensive or anything like that, you guys. I'm just being honest. These guys, the Europeans' knowledge, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to bang on the Europeans as a whole, but their knowledge was too immature because they came so late in the game, trying to play catch up. And as the Greek philosopher said, that you Greeks will always be children. You guys look this up. This is documented. He told the Greeks that you will always be children when it comes to the knowledge, okay? Now, they taught us that you guys heard the term before, outer space, right? That couldn't be no farther from the truth than I'm right now sitting in an elephant's anus. I guess I'm not, okay? So, hold on, you guys. Let me close this door. Hold on. He's back. Okay, you guys, I'm back. All right. Are you guys still with me? Okay, it's going to get even deeper. It's going to get even deeper. Okay, so we are in space and we are a part of space. It's not like we're over here and that's outer space. That's outer space. If that's the case, any point you're in the galaxy, if you were 8 billion miles away, if you're 14 billion miles away, do you have to point back and call the rest of it outer space? No, it's all one whole collect. That's why it's called the universe. You guys know what the word uni means? Uni, mono, one. That's why it's the universe. It's all in confluence with each other. Okay, you guys? All right. So we are in a galaxy that's in a universe. And our ancient ancestors knew that the astrological constellations had an effect on our physical bodies. Do you all still think it's just coincidence that the number 12 keeps popping up? Check this out, you guys. Lean in with me, you guys. Lean with this. Let's see that Michael Jackson smooth criminal lean for this one, you guys. Lean in with me, you guys. Here we go. Here we go. The number 12 keep popping up because carbon 12. And I'll tell you guys what that is. Because carbon 12 holds the building blocks for DNA and RNA. You see? And that's what melanin is made of. Now let's continue with the 12s. We got carbon 12, which is the building blocks for DNA and RNA. We got 12 months of the year in the calendar year. We have 12 zodiac signs correlating with each month of the year. Jesus had 12 disciples following him. And they talk about the lost 12 tribes of Israel. And the most important 12 of all, and I'm sure some of you old school people can relate to this. The most important 12 of all was our parents telling us to have our asses back home before 12 midnight. Okay, you guys, I had to put that in. Sorry about that, you guys. But think about that, you guys. Think about it. Carbon 12, which is the original 12. 12 months of the year, which we established with our calendar. 12 zodiac signs to go along with those 12 months. And for some reason, coincidentally, Jesus had 12 disciples. You see, these are allegories, you guys. And the lost 12 tribes of Israel. Is it coincidence? Is it coincidence? Okay, let's keep going. If you ever believe that 666 was the mark of the beast, then you have been bamboozled, hoodwinked, played for a fool. It's the makeup of carbon which composes melanin. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. It's what we are made of. And they told us it was the mark of the beast. They're telling us that our makeup, our molecular composition, and our cells and our DNA is the mark of the beast. And we're all waiting for Satan to come with this finale and all this. You guys, these are allegorical stories that they're throwing. Some are to help correlate with what's really going on, and some of these allegories are just throwing us off course. Stay with me, you guys. Stay with me. It's getting deeper. Everything solid in the physical universe is carbon-based, okay? Carbon-12 is the most abundant of the 2 isotopes of carbon. It amounts to 98.93% of element carbon on Earth. It's the abundance and due to its triple alpha process, which is created in stars. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Flowers, plants, trees, rocks. What else do we got? Humans, bodies, animals, everything that's solid, that has a solid makeup and composition is carbon-based. Okay? But when we get to carbon-12, it is the most abundant of the 2 isotopes of carbon that has 98.93% element of carbon on Earth. Okay, excuse me. I don't know, I'm getting so dry out here, okay? So you guys, passing through the age of Aquarius will have an effect on our molecular composition. It's an age of enlightenment on a spiritual and physical plane of transformation. And this is what's going on, you guys. I'm still getting deep with this. So for those of us who are too consumed by the material wealth, selfish personal gains, at the expense of the suffering of other humans and life forms, your vibrations will be on such a low level that you will not be able to make that divine transformation. Our protons, neutrons, electrons, atoms, molecules, and cells will vibrate on a more divine frequency, in tune with a higher level of consciousness. Some call it existence or whatever. Remember what I told you guys about in my last post about the Hertz vibrating and the Fibonacci numbers and the phi, the golden ratio, vibrating with nature. If you guys didn't hear about it, go back to my last post and I'm explaining that to you guys. The universe, all the planets, all the solar system, everything is vibrating, in harmony with each other, even if they're not in an exact sequence with each other. But, it's all happening like this. I explained about the negative and positive charges in the universe, because like a battery, we need negative and positive to create energy. So not negative isn't a bad thing unless it overpowers the positive. Okay, I explained that before, you guys. Okay, so we're talking about us vibrating, going into this new age of Aquarius, that it's going to, and as things are getting hotter and the planet heats up, the molecular structure is going to change. Imagine this. What happens when you put food in a microwave oven? What happens in a microwave is the energy heats it up, the radiation, and it starts making the molecules in the food move like that, which heats up the food. You see, heat causes a change in the molecular structure, even as basic as hot water. How do you get hot water? You turn the fire on under because the what? The heat heats up the water and causes the molecules in the water to start moving faster and cause them to heat up. And that's how you get boiling water. Going into the hotter position in our galaxy, as the sun heats up, it's going to cause our molecular structures to heat up and start moving. And we're going to vibrate on a higher plane. Now, those of you who are melanated people, and those of you who are vibrating on that divine frequency, you're going to have nothing to fear. Because this is going to take us up to a higher consciousness of existence, okay? So for those of you who are too consumed with the petty things in life, the trivial things and the selfish things, your vibration is on a low level. It's on a low level. And you guys ain't going to make that. You guys here creating weapons of mass destruction, seeing how many people you can kill with one bomb, seeing how much land you can take from people, seeing how many tribes or ethnic groups of people you can just decimate and destroy so that you can take their resources. You people living like that, boy, we're going to go into this new age, and what's going to happen to you? You ain't going to survive. You ain't going to survive. So you see, you guys? So, activating our God gene, which is melanin. That's what's going to happen. That God gene is going to be activated, you guys. And it's going to be a whole new transformation. You know, what did they say in the song of Aquarius? I'm scrolling back so I can see that, you guys. So I'm going to go back to those lyrics because they're so pertinent to what I'm talking about. It says, harmony and understanding, sympathy and trust abounding. No more falsehoods or derisions. Golden living dreams of vision. Mystic crystal revelation. Things are going to be revealed. And our mind's true liberation. The true liberation of our minds in the age of Aquarius. This is what we're talking about, you know. So we're going to have to deal with that, you guys. We have to deal with that. This is what's going on. Okay? So, let me go back to where I was. So, I would say that passing through the age of Aquarius will have an effect on our molecular compositions, and it's an age of enlightenment on a spiritual and physical transformation. All right? All right. So, now you better understand the biblical metaphors and Matthew 16. See, I'm correlating and I'm relating to the Bible that you Christians know, because I'm going to help you Christians understand things that are not necessarily in the Bible. So I'm going to use your Bible to help you understand these things. Here's what it says in Matthew 16. For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? Now, we all know that, right? Okay. Now, some of you Christians were intimidated by that verse. You thought that amassing wealth in your lifetime resulted in you burning in hell's fire. So you found comfort in poverty, thinking wealth was only for the sinners. Now, I'm not trying to offend anyone's belief system. I'm just trying to wake you up to the real truth. All right? Now, I'm going to get deeper, another level. Here we go, you guys. Hang on. I hope you guys are writing some of this down so you can keep this information. Have you ever heard of Ma'at? M-A''A'-T, Ma'at. That's why our ancestors, our ancient ancestors, practiced the laws of Ma'at, which meant weighing their heart on one scale and an ostrich feather on the other scale. And if you adhere to the 42 laws of Ma'at, your heart will be as light as the ostrich feather, and you will make the divine astrological and spiritual transformation. That's where they got the scales of justice from. Thousands of years ago, from the ancient Egyptians, practicing the laws of Ma'at using the scale. Your heart on one scale and an ostrich feather to signify how light your heart was. Until today, every courtroom, every institution of justice, you will see the scales of justice outside. You see, you guys, where they're getting this from? Okay? All right. So here you go. For those who are not familiar with the 42 laws of Ma'at, aka the 42 negative confessions, please look it up because the Hebrews plagiarized it into just the 10 commandments. I am the Lord thy God, thou shalt not have any other gods before me. Thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Remember to keep thy holy Sabbath day. Honor thy father and mother. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal, etc., etc., etc. Those are just 10 commandments. However, the 42 laws of Ma'at predate Moses and his 10 commandments as early as 2925 BCE. The 10 commandments came in between the 16th and 13th century BCE. Ma'at goes back 2925 BC, and the 10 commandments are only between 16th and 13th century BCE. Something's wrong, you guys. Something's wrong. We're going to have to deal with this, you guys. Everything I'm saying can be verified. This is empirical knowledge. It can be verified. It's incontrovertible, you guys. It's still on the walls. It's still written in the scrolls. It's still, and you guys can look this up. I implore you to look up the laws of Ma'at, the 42 laws of confession, the 42 laws of Ma'at, however they put it. Because these immature Westerners came along calling it the Book of the Dead and all these things and giving it all these spooky names and stuff like that. So you guys got to deal with it and find the real things. Now, I don't want to get into a religious debate, you guys, but don't you find it odd that the biblical Moses was reportedly raised by the Pharaoh's family and is said to have known all the ways of the Egyptians? Therefore, he had to have been acutely astute in the 42 laws of Ma'at. That's like you living in America and you know all the ways of the Americans, but you don't know the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, on the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty and justice. I mean, I'm paraphrasing it because I forgot it myself, How would you have lived in America and not know that? Or not know that about the First Amendment and the Second Amendment and the Constitution if you were astute in these things? And they say that Moses was. Read your Bible. It says that Moses was astute. He knew all the ways of the Egyptians. All right? So, that's the laws that the Egyptians not only taught, but they governed themselves by. So the 10 Commandments are just a derivative from the complete 42 laws of Ma'at. And what is Ma'at? Truth, justice, and the cosmic order. I'm going to say that again. What is Ma'at? Truth, justice, and cosmic order. Right there, that's it in a nutshell. If we can live with truth and have honesty in our society, then if we can have real justice to help fortify and back up that truth and keep it in balance, and then we're living with the cosmic order, which means everything in nature, plants, animals, human, the creator, all of that, that's it right there. That's paradise right there, you guys. And that's how we used to exist. So I was so surprised to find out that the Muslims called their Friday noon prayers Juma'at, which mandates all Muslim men in the faith to congregate at the mosque and pray together. Now, and let's be very clear about something. Islam is not a religion. Islam in itself is the same as Ma'at, a way of existence with truth, justice, and the cosmic order. That's what Islam is. Now, whatever spin the Arabs threw on top of that is another story. But Ma'at is much older than the basics of Christianity and Islam, and we got to deal with that, family. We got to deal with it. If any of you truly seek the truth and really want to know what's going on, I would implore you to read all the holy books and then compare them and see what is contradicting what is agreeing with what, and what is plagiarized from what. Now, so you now know we're entering the age of Aquarius and about to go through a spiritual, molecular, and galactic transformation. That is what's really going on, you guys. But all they're saying is, we have to stop global warming. We got to stop CO2 emissions. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But I'm telling you right now, as sure as I'm sitting in front of you, even if we stopped CO2 emissions, which is damaging our bodies. Yes, it's doing that. Yes, it is polluting our airs. Yes, it is destroying certain plants and things like that. Yes, we are doing that. But that's not all what's making the planet warm. Along with the planet's natural CO2 emissions coming from the oceans, coming from decomposing forests and all these other things, which is much more higher than what humans are doing anyway, we're moving into the age of Aquarius. Let the sun shine. Let the sun shine in. Now you see, you guys, why they're racing to get away from the Earth and run off to Mars. They got the United Emirates. They've got China now racing with NASA, trying to make it to Mars, thinking that they're going to terraform a dead planet that's 39 million miles away. But yet, they haven't even tested it on the moon, which is our closest celestial body, to see if it even works yet. I told you guys about that before. I don't go for that carrot in front of the horse thing. Maybe if they had already went to the moon and set up a little perimeter and terraformed that and said, you know what? Now we have the ability to terraform a more Earth-conducive type atmosphere on another celestial body. The moon is only 200-something thousand miles away. You mean they're going to bypass the moon and go all the way to Mars if they can make it there safe, if they can land on it safe? How are they going to carry all that equipment with them? Just to terraform an area, and we don't even have that technology yet. We haven't even developed the technology yet. So I would say stop leaning into all this stuff about going to Mars. You know, all these people now, they waited for over 50 years of just going around the Earth in a very low orbit for over the past 50 years. But now suddenly you're just going to take off and go 39 million miles away and terraform a dead planet. You guys get the jack crack a lack a mac out of here. That, you know, you guys, if you guys want to believe that, if you guys want to roll with that, and I'm not anti-technology, I'm not anti-space exploration or any of that thing. But you see what they're doing? This handful of people who are dictating the lives of almost 8 billion people, their industries, their production, what they are creating, their technology, is destroying this planet, which is the most beautiful planet in our solar system, which creates, sustains life. And they're going to, while in the middle of their destroying this, and they see that we're getting into a hotter age, they're trying to get the hell up out of here. Now they got the United Emirates. When has the so-called Middle East been in the space race program? Now that's new. China, okay, China, give or take, they've been firing off rockets and stuff like that, so they've had an interest. But why suddenly this real keen interest in trying to make it to Mars real quick? They know something that they're not telling you guys. They know that we're moving into an age and they're trying to get away from it. You see, Earth is the third planet from the sun after Mercury and Venus, then Earth. And where we are, we're in the Goldilocks zone, which has been very comfortable for life to sustain itself and exist. Then Mars is further away from the sun. So I guess they assume that Mars is not going to be that hot, or Mars is going to be pretty much, it will get as warm as Earth is when Earth was very habitable and comfortable to live in for them. Maybe that's their train of thought, that when things heats up, by that time, the sun will make Mars a little warmer, because Mars is much more colder than Earth. It's much more colder because it's that much further away from the sun than we are. You see? So this is what's happening, you guys. And they're not telling us this. While they got you all glued to TV screens, worried about the Squid Game and Game of Thrones and who's on the red carpet and who's showing their booty and who's gay, who's transgender, who's doing this, who's doing that. We're all just climbing over each other, going online, trolling each other, joining in and helping to persecute people who are getting convicted. We're all joining in the witch hunts and all this stuff, while these people are sneaking out the back door. Sneaking out the back door. That's what's going on, you guys. So you guys, Tell me your thoughts on this. Please give me your feedback, you guys. I love it when you give me your feedback. I want more feedback on YouTube followers, because the Facebook people, you guys always give me good feedback, okay? So I want more on my YouTube people. Give me your feedback. Tell me what you guys think of this information I'm disseminating to you, and give me your perspective. Tell me what you think of it, okay? I know some of you may have heard some of this information. Some of you might know about it. For those of you who are hearing it for the first time, you guys, look it up. Now you have the chance to research it. As I tell you, fact check me if you want to. Research it, okay? All right, you guys, I hope you guys are keeping fine. I want to give my most heartfelt condolence to the DeBarge family, Elder Barge and his brothers and sisters, for the loss of their brother Tommy DeBarge, who was a member of the group Switch with his brother Bobby DeBarge. There were two DeBarge brothers in the group Switch. And we just lost Tommy DeBarge the other day. Tommy DeBarge, I met him when I lived in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I had a group I played in a band called Captain Crunch and the Funky Bunch. Something happened with our bass player temporarily, Freddie Mitchell. Tommy DeBarge came in and he played with us on a few gigs until Freddie Mitchell came back again. And I have nothing but love for the DeBarge family, one of the most talented families. I'm gonna tell you guys right there, full stop. The Wooten family with Victor Wooten, the Jacksons, of course, the Silvers, and the DeBarge families. You guys, these have got to be some of the most talented families in history. And I don't know if they even get enough props, especially the Silvers and the DeBarge family. I don't know if they even give enough props for all the things that they've done and what they contributed. Of course, the Kuti family, from Fela Kuti to Femi Kuti to Shun Kuti, now Made Kuti, Femi Kuti's son. We have, when families are handing down this, talent and keeping the legacies going on, you guys, we got to give it up for them. So a heartfelt condolence to the DeBarge family and to all the fans of the DeBarges. My brother Tommy DeBarge, may your soul rest in peace. If any of you have lost anyone, any loved ones, any family members, any friends, I extend my condolences to you too. I hope you all stay safe. We're still in this pandemic. It's still ongoing, you guys. It's still ongoing, so please be safe. Whichever way you choose to, please be safe, okay? I only wish you guys well, okay? All right, you guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I've taken up enough of your time. We're moving into the Age of Aquarius. Look up the lyrics, look up the song, look up the information, you guys, and check it out. Jeffrey Daniel coming to you from Abuja, Nigeria. I love you all. Spread the love. Make love great again. I'm taking you back to the world as we go into the Age of Aquarius. Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. Bye-bye.